good morning and happy Sunday. You know, there's something about a campfire that brings out the best stories. The ones that get your blood pumping and bring us such joy. Now, some people, when they think of the Bible, they think of it as just a stern book of rules, and others see it as ancient history. In actuality, the Bible is a joy story, and those who explore its contents quickly learn that it radiates with this energy and relevance that even today we can still use in our own lives. And God invites us to meet Him in its pages. And if you answer that call, you'll soon see yourself as a main character in a great adventure. So, as you walk into a tent, you see this couple with worn looks on their faces. I mean, look at those faces. Wow, their expression says it all. Waiting is hard. And as you enter the story today, you come face to face with a couple who is waiting to have a child, waiting to get to the next chapter of their life, waiting to move on, while waiting for circumstances beyond their control. As you feel the 100-degree heat pounding on you, and barely a breeze to cool you off, you've been waiting with them far longing that you ever thought you would for a family, for the next step, for the next horizon of his career. Waiting brings out the worst in me. I see myself when I look at those faces, and maybe you see your anxiety in their faces too. However, as I thought about the wait times in my life, there's fate to the wait, two of them. And I think, here's number one, I would think. Waiting can create hurtful laughter. Over the years, I have heard many say I lost my faith during the time of waiting. Either I was waiting for healing, I was waiting for a child to come home from a season of rebelling. I was waiting for God to show up and give me a real sign and real evidence, but I gave up waiting. I was waiting for a college acceptance letter, but it never came. I waited to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and it hasn't happened yet. Waiting often produces cynical, I can't trust anyone laughter after a breakup. Waiting produces stoic, I know better than to trust anyone after a betrayal. And waiting produces an arrogant laughter. You don't really believe that stuff about God, do you? I can hear people say. Waiting produces self-hatred laughter when we laugh off a compliment. Or waiting produces guarded laughter that refuses to open up to God, self, and others. Today we'll see how God took a couple who's been waiting to turn their hurtful laughter into hopeful laughter. And let's examine our story, God's story, into this joy story. And when you combine your story with God's story, you do get a joy story. Real sustainable joy that transcends circumstances. Our story. Our story is seen as we step into Abraham and Sarah's story. Their story is our story. You see, Abraham and Sarah have been waiting for many years to have a child. God promises them a child, but many years into the wait, no results. And you see that Sarah, in verse 16, time had passed with the age of childbearing. In verse 12, therefore Sarah laughed with herself. After all, I've grown old. Shall I have the pleasure, my Lord, of being old also? And hurtful laughter does come when we wait. As we walk upon Sarah, we see deep sadness because of her brokenness. She's worn out from waiting and getting desperate. She laughs at the idea that she could even have a child. But this is not a hopeful, joyful laughter. This is sad, broken, desperate, angry laughter. This is that productive, I won't let anyone hurt me. I won't open up again. I won't move in that direction again. And I think that a lot of us have been kind of sharing hurtful laughter and during this time of political distress, during this time of uncertainty from a pandemic and protest and this country that's divided right now. A lot of us have this hurtful laughter, and some of that comes from anxiety. In fact, much of that does. The stress of not knowing what will happen or when it will happen. So we laugh because that's all we can do. Sometimes it seems like it's the better option than crying. But often this hurtful laughter can lead us to destruction. Hurtful laughter causes problems in relationships. We end up guarded. We end up hurting others because we are withdrawn, withholding affection and ability to compliment and need to control everything. And it causes problems at school. It causes problems with everything. When we wait, we lose faith. We don't think rationally. We feel sorry for ourselves, we get angry, and we get desperate. We start to make compromises in our relationship, business, school, and just life. Then the stage of our life opens a season of pain, hurt, and betrayal. Now, this plan B of having Abraham sleep with Hagar is so destructive. It will impact all of human history, and it will cause hurt in their marriage, confusion in their family. But that's what happens when you allow hurtful laughter to control your decisions. And this is what God's story is. Turns hurtful laughter the hopeful. In the previous chapter, we see God reveal his story in a different way to differing people. God was a torch, a fire, and an all-powerful force. But here he comes as a man disguised with sore feet. By now, the hurtful laughter has brought pain into her life. Sarah has her lack of faith exposed, has that cynical, hopeless laughter. Sarah has a cynical self-hatred as she feels useless. Now we wonder, we wait like she does, for God to do what he said he would. We wonder, we doubt, we give up, we bargain, and 10 years later, God speaks again. Then he said to him, "Where is Sarah, your wife?" So he said, "Here in the tent." Verse 10. And he said, "I will certainly return to you according to the time of life. And behold, Sarah your wife shall have a son." Now Sarah was listening in the tent door, which was behind him. God reveals himself as God as we watch the scene. God has come for Sarah, not Abraham. God is looking for Sarah. He talks with her. Why does God come? He wants Sarah to know about God through Abraham, but doesn't know God. She has never on her own had experience with God. So what God is doing is extracting the hurtful laughter. In verse 13, he says, "Why did Sarah laugh, saying, 'Shall I surely bear a child since I am old?'" God enters our story with his story. He comes to us in our hurtful laughter and says, "Why did you laugh?" He is so comforting, doesn't blow up and scream. He is our wonderful counselor. And if you have someone who is in hurt, doubting, sad, or discouraged, do what God did. Be tender with others. God wants to put hope and wonder back in your life. You can't love if you are guarded. You can dream if you're a cynic, but you can't have comfort if you don't admit that you are in mourning. You can't heal if you don't feel. Sarah has forgotten to really laugh, and God extracts the pain so she can. Hurtful laughter is changed in hopeful. Genesis 21, verses 1 through 7. And I love this in verse 6. "And Sarah said, 'God has made me laugh, and all who hear will laugh with me.'" The grace of God overcame the impossibility of a situation. The son of a promise transformed her cynical, hopeless laughter into real joy. She has encountered a joy story as her story collides with God's story. God has come into her life, and Sarah has had a personal experience with God. And allowing him to take out the guilt, pain, anguish, self-loathing, and self-protection, God has made me laugh, she says. In fact, her son's name is Laughter. As we step into the story, we step into God's joy story. So something powerful happens when God brings his story into your story. Did you see the joy on their faces? The real, genuine laughter God had for them? God offers to come into your life as well, and takes the cynical, no-way laughter to show you joy, hope, peace, and strength. When God comes into your life, he offers a new vision that brings others together and overcomes skepticism to bring joy to the whole organization. Nothing about you will be right until you see your main problem. Your main problem is that you look at your life and everything about your life as a play written with you in the lead. You are the center, you are in the spotlight. When you change to a small part in God's bigger play, everything changes. You are filled with more joy when you are not in the lead. Joy is not something that you learn about. Joy is something you learn to love. That's why you, like Sarah, need to have a personal encounter with God. Joy while you wait. And when hurtful meets this someone, you move from hurtful habits and laughter to hopeful laughter.
Shut it out, but I can't hear a word you say. I'm talking loud and not saying much. I'm criticized, but all your bullets ricochet. You shoot me down, but I get up. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, ricochet, you take your aim. Fire away, you shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Cut me down, but it's you who has further to fall. Ghost town, haunted love. Raise your voice, sticks and stones may break my bones. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, ricochet, you take your aim. Fire away, you shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Titanium, stone hard, machine gun, firing at the ones who run. Stone hard, this bulletproof as glass. Bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, ricochet, you take your aim. Fire away, you shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. I'm titanium. I'm titanium.